Hi everyone, welcome back to the Family Oasis. As parents, we all know this crossroad. We want to correct our children, but there's this fine line where we don't want to go, where we crush their spirit.
Or where they're fearful, but we don't want them to be entitled either. So nowadays in most homes, we swing from one extreme to the other, like too much control and too little leadership. Both leave children uncertain and insecure. And here's the plain truth. Children need both relationship and authority.
There's a deep confusion around discipline today. On one side, if everything is allowed, sounds kind of good.
Yeah.
There's no boundaries,
Yeah.
but the child won't feel secure in such an environment and won't feel guided.
Yeah.
On the other side, if it's very strict,
Yeah.
but it's lacking a heart connection, it's lacking a relationship with your child, it's only about what to do and what not to do, your child will feel abandoned.
Just push too.
Just pushed.
Yeah. So real discipline guards the bond while addressing the behavior and not the child. It's the behavior, and that's the real distinction.
As a parent, when you communicate to the child, you're not enough, you can't make it, you are
Messy.
You're messy.
You're too slow. You were too rough.
Yeah, the child doesn't hear guidance, but he absorbs identity.
Yeah, that's like what we said before, that we don't address the child. And in that example, we address the child and it thinks like, I am bad, I am messy. And it's that label we put on the child, but we don't really look at the behavior. The behavior is completely the opposite in not saying you are bad, but the decisions you made were not good. Or your room is messy, but that doesn't mean you are messy. And that's the big difference as parents, that we need to change our vocabulary, because a lot of times in anger or in the heated moment, we want to just like say something even like more that it makes them understand, but they just hear identity, and it as well puts them in like a drawer or like puts a label on them that says, I'm bad, I'm messy, I'm slow, and it doesn't encourage them to change the behavior.
By addressing the behavior, what happens is there's a secure sense of identity. I'm not the problem, I'm still loved, even if there's something to change.
Yeah.
It builds confidence and not arrogance.
Yeah, and it's that little shift that changes everything. And that's like something where we as parents need to discipline ourselves how we speak to our children.
Number 2, responsibility without shame. The first one, when we accuse them, say, I'm the problem, or the other one, there is a problem and I can work on it.
Yeah, and one drives us to high and the other one invites us for growth.
And number 3, it's a godly model of correction. God corrects us, but doesn't reject us.
Yeah, and correction in scripture is as well restoring and not humiliating.
And as Shamira mentioned, the word that we use towards our children have a lot of power. For example, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You are disrespectful. You never listen.
Better would be, that choice is not acceptable, or I love you, but I need to address this. Or you are growing, I see you're making an effort, but let's try this differently. The boundary stays the same, the authority stands, but the heart stays open.
And one of the common parenting mistakes is to correct in the heat of the moment. When there's an overload in your child's behavior, in yourself, and this is when we start to point the finger.
Yeah.
This is when we start to put our children down and use words that we don't necessarily want and will regret later. So what we usually say to parents, instead of correcting the heat of the moment, just take a break and then come back later when everyone is calm. It's going to be easier for you to find your thoughts
Yes.
and also for your child.
Exactly. And it doesn't take like hours. It takes maybe a couple of minutes just to like go outside, to be like to let go and be more proactive. Because usually we disciple reactively in anger and frustration, and we never do a good job in that. And our kids are not secure. They're secure if we parent in calm, which is in reality very, very difficult, because then you have more than one child and you're tired and it adds up. But this is something we really want to encourage you with, to know that you're allowed to step away, that you're allowed to take a breath, a sip of coffee or whatever you need to just like gain self-control in that moment, so you can discipline your child really in calmness and with wisdom.
And if you remember yourself as a child, when your parents were actually angry with you, screaming at you, you just wanted to say a quick yes. You wanted a quick resolution as a child, so you can go to the next steps. And your parents, they also sometimes expected you to behave, but there was not a work on the heart.
Yeah, there's no change of heart if we attack identity.
Yeah.
And it also keeps them labeled. But if you address behavior, that's really something they can work with. And we've talked about this often too, because even when you're older and you're like at a work or you're at ministry or you're doing something, working with other people, there will be conflict, and there will be people that will address something in you. And there it's another, just like, how were we parented? How do we take that? If something points out something in you, is your identity attacked? How do you...
I feel very often that's one of my major problems. I have to be careful that my identity is not attacked. But yeah, I feel like someone is pointing the finger.
Yeah, and like quickly as a failure yourself, instead of it's just like a behavior. And that's what I think is so powerful, if we can teach our children already from small, because there's always something that we can grow and we can be better. But like identity crushes and keeps us kind of in a hole. Behavior tells us this is just a little part of your life. This is not you as a whole person that is wrong. So that like encourages us even as adults to work on that, and we can continuously grow instead of staying in a pit of self-doubt or accusation, which most of the time it wasn't. And the beauty is that if we address the behavior, it doesn't get emotional. A lot of us parents sometimes use and misuse emotions to control our kids.
And to shame our children.
Yeah, and make them do something because we are disappointed. Like, mommy is very sad now, or you've ruined a whole day. Or I was happy this morning, but now everything is going downhill. So putting all our emotional baggage on our kids and make them responsible for like how they behaved. So by addressing the behavior, it doesn't get emotional because we don't bring our own emotions in it. If we get angry, if we're sad, if we're not feeling well, we shouldn't make them responsible for it, and just like look inwardly and see what we need to change or what we need to ask for forgiveness to.
And in my own life, the emotional pressure made me behave, and I became kind of a well-behaved kid, but without a change of heart.
Yeah, that's really the key. And for me, it was just more when I was not behaved, my dad got very angry, and I felt it was my responsibility that he got angry, but my heart was not reached.
And I think it's interesting, later in life we realize when we were married that I still reacted in the same way I was kind of trained. Emotionally, yeah. So things have lasting repercussions, lasting impact. In my case, I'm pretty sure, but I cannot be completely sure, that I wasn't very, compassionate.
Yeah.
because I would do things just to have the situation moved away
yeah.
or calm down. So I didn't learn compassion or having a true heart-to-heart relationship with my parents, for example.
And that's what identity does. It just wants to fix the moment. If we attack the identity by saying you are bad or you are messy, that like it gets us stuck, but as well we just want to like get over it. But if we look at the behavior, it takes more time, and the parents are in there with the child in teaching them long term. And I always say like we're our kids cheerleader and coach. So we're on their side to help them, to teach them, to cheer them on, because it is in them, like they can do it. And we will cheer them on until the end, because that's our responsibility. So be careful of labeling your child, just like of how you speak in your everyday discipline moments. Did you see that maybe I'm using labels just because I didn't know either? I think like all of us would if we don't know.
I think you're very often not aware.
Yeah.
And many times while we're doing those videos, we said, listen to how you talk.
Yeah.
Take one day and try to listen, or ask your husband or your wife. This helps a lot because sometimes we don't see.
But sometimes we both don't see because we're in it. And like sometimes there's somebody else outside that can see, or we've heard a teaching like this, and then tomorrow just like seems very different because there's this alarm that goes off. And as well, be very conscious of not trying to discipline your children with your emotion. Like your love should be unconditional no matter what they do. And this is again so much easier to say than done. We all have the same foundation, but we don't put the same value on it, which means like we say yes to it, but in our day-to-day life, we maybe don't react to it in the same way because it just is too hard. And if our kids do the same mistake for the 100th time, it can frustrate us deeply, and we would love to show them how much, but it's not necessary because we don't want to control them through our emotions. We want a change of heart.
And you know, it's interesting while talking about this, the way I had it with my parents. The thing is, because the idea was to swipe it as quick as possible.
Put it aside.
Maybe on both sides, you know, because they were happy if suddenly I was behaving, but there was never an emotional connection, you know? So we didn't learn through authority like this to connect to each other. It was most like, okay, let's try to go as quick away from the situation. There was never a deeper discussion to understand and teach me. And I think this is why deep inside, even if it works on the surface.
No, it only works on the surface.
On the surface.
I mean, it's short term.
Deep inside, I was actually very rebellious. But especially, I think there was no, it never reached my heart.
And that's the children I always tell to look out for the parents that have like passive rebellious kids. We call them passive rebellious kids because they're still rebellious, but we don't see it. They're just the easier child. But like, do they really know the right from wrong? Do they really know what compassion is? Do they really know what restoration means? Do they really know why being respectful is important? So have we as parents really filled up the foundation so they can stand on or not? That's why if you have that child, be like, dig a little bit deeper. I know it takes time, but it's worth it for them to really build a foundation that is unshakable and that is not just on emotions or like fear, like attached to emotions or fear. So they're like insecure of what is right or wrong.
And if you sense that you have done it wrong, like we all did, you have heard us say very often, apologize. Apologize as power. Ask for forgiveness from your children. It dissolves.
It restores.
It restores. And if you have the impression that your parents did something that is still hurting you, has a struggle in your life today, but they never apologize, I suggest, like something we did, go and talk to your parents. Don't point the finger or accuse them, but just tell them you would like to discuss of things, and this will also help you to heal and restore from some of those strongholds.
Yeah, and even if your parents don't understand or don't apologize, that's the beauty of like just going and speaking about it. You can really let it go from your side, and it's really powerful. So parenting is really a legacy. It's God opens up doors, gives us opportunities during parenting, very natural, to go deeper. And that's why we speak a lot about inner healing too. We just like sense that parents were not aware of how much healing we still need. And as soon as we're aware of that it will affect generations, we might maybe look at it, which is like a great opportunity. That's why we really want to encourage you. If you feel like there's frustration, there's like different things like in the way you react or always do the same thing, and you can't do anything in your own strength to stop it, then inner healing is a beautiful tool with the Holy Spirit to go deeper to the root for like really for healing and restoration and freedom. So we were really excited to do this video, and we hope it encouraged you. And we're looking forward to next week. Bye.
Bye.